Bloody Justice. So I made 2 videos earlier, but then I deleted them, and the reason why is because I don't know. I think it wasted a lot of time. I didn't want the people who wanted to see what I was doing get bored and stop watching and not get to see the end result. So I waited until the end so I can accurately describe everything going on without any problems. So anyhow, I went to this river and did a little bit of work. As you can see now, I have an underground tunnel under the water. I got lots of charcoal if I need it, but I'm not charcoal, regular coal. But I wouldn't mind this one. I would mind the stuff under the water because I wouldn't want to destroy this tunnel here. And this tunnel is would almost be good, almost to put tailings in, but we're not gonna do that kind of stuff just yet because we really want a blast furnace, because a blast furnace is what's gonna actually get stuff done without the production of tailings. And if we wanted to, we can make this into a big room. That's what being miner, that's the benefit of it. You mine a whole bunch of stuff, make a nice house out of the stuff you mine, and yeah. So that you see this big tunnel can easily be made into a room, and the game will consider it a room, and we can put as much of whatever tier material we need so that we can have our blast furnace. And in the case of the blast furnace, it's going to be 32 tier 2. I believe the blast furnace is what requires the most tier 2. And we'll probably end up using glass or something because I don't think we're going to do brick. If we do brick, there's going to be a bit of a setback. And so, I had a bit of a dilemma with creating stone with these. So, first, of course, these four here are used for pitch, and they turn, or should I say, they're used for making sand. They turn stone into sand. And this one's used for pitch, and this one's used for the actual mortared stone. And we did a miscalculation. Turning stone to sand was so efficient that by the time we were turning the sand into pitch, that was even more efficient, that we ended up with just 80 stones being turned into sand, and that sand being turned into pitch. We ended up with enough pitch to make over 1,000 mortared stones, but we didn't actually make 1,000. I think it came out to like 800 and something, like nearly 900, because the game started lagging and the server started having issues and the server went offline and a bunch of times. And this is what a nice mortared stone stockpile looks like. However, I was hoping people needed this, see, or I'm gonna have to use this to make myself a castle out here, and that'll probably be nicer than making myself a underground cavern like most miners do. It just takes a little bit more work to make the castle. So another thing is this right here. So this is a road post or whatever, it's like a construction post, and it's used to designate construction for contracts. So I called this one from, and about 201 meters away I have one that's called 2. So here's my contract board, which I managed to get. There was a Discord channel, and the Discord channel had every person from the server that was into some kind of specialty of some sort, all talking to each other about what they're gonna do and why they're gonna do it, and trying to collaborate. And that's when this world decided to set a world leader. The government, you can see the world leader, Now, in the case of the world leader on this world, the admin actually made them the world leader completely random. I don't know why they did that. And I suggested to make the person who was the nicest person, but the most clueless, to be the world leader, because normally that's the best person to lead. That's going to lead to the least amount of problems and corruption. Normally, it's really hard for them to have issues, and if they do, it's somebody else's fault, not theirs. So anyhow, the thing I decided to do with this road post in terms of how much I'm going to charge, or how much I'm going to give to whoever builds my road. So the road is made of dirt that I want. Say, it's a dirt road, but it needs to go 201 meters. I have each of these mortared stone for about 3 credits, and I'm buying regular stone for 1 credit. So I thought, well, I have a lot of mortared stone, so if anybody doesn't want to actually give me stone, and they can build roads, then they can build a road from point A to point B, and they're going to end up getting enough to have 201 mortared stone. And the way that works is that every time they pave 4 roads, or I mean not 4 roads, but like a 4 wide, 1 length road, they get a mortared stone worth of points. The only problem is I don't think anyone on the server wants mortared stone. I think what they actually end up wanting the most is and the problem is we're not a chef, but we don't need to be a chef for people to have calories. So a lot of people can't get stuff done because they don't have calories, and if they did, they would end up getting this mortared stone themselves. So there's this dilemma where I am the most efficient mortared stone creator. This other guy wanted to make mortared stone, but he couldn't. And the reason he couldn't is because essentially I'm the best market. The only problem is nobody's using my market because there's no road to my market. But if I had a mint here, they would be coming here for that mint. You see what I'm saying? Like they would rather have the gold. We'll bear the gold here than conduct business. And I guess they have some source of mortared stone. I don't know if they got a friend or something, because you know, they could share that friend with me. But there doesn't seem to be a circle jerk that's evident on the server. But the server certainly has a group of people that seem like they don't need mortar stone for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's because they want to make everything out of 2 materials, like glass and stuff like that, and that's fine. But you don't do materials for a super nice house, and I guess they don't really need just a house. I don't think you need max tier materials to get the most points out of something. I don't think you do. I might be wrong though. I remember getting a lot of points from putting a butcher inside of a room, a butcher's table. So anyway, I decided I'm gonna make a new scheme to get more people to come to my shop and use it more often. So if I can't get them to give in, you know, exchange, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get them to buy something that they want in exchange for something that I want. So I don't know exactly what I'm gonna need in terms of individual items. I'm not gonna need specific tiny little individual items that are pointless to me. I really need my own materials to build a house, and I might just build the house instead of but you see, this construction post marks the exact outside area, and from there we go this way. And to build a road that goes over this hill would be fairly easy, even though it looks nasty. But let me go ahead and go over this. then we would count 12 down. But in this case, the road post is going to go over here, and it's going to come across this. Now, here's the part that they would probably be most annoyed with, because they'd have to fill this up with dirt, because this isn't big enough for them to create two hills, that one that goes up, one that goes down, one that flattens out, so that the cart can go smoothly. So that would cost a bit of dirt for them to put. Then they pave it out, but then they have to go up 3. So right after this, they just remove that dirt, remove this dirt here, put a hill. They got one hill, you know, and then they just go up. Actually, let's see, this is approximately where the hill would be. They'd have to remove some of this dirt here, and then the hill would start going up from the this point right here, and it would reach exactly where I showed y'all. And that's a good way to estimate. And then they'd have to come this way and start counting and making marks, and that's not too difficult if you know how to do it. And if you wanted to be the guy who decided to build roads, then you should. And also, if you want to build roads out of that are brick, then yeah. So let's go ahead and do something else. We're going to go to where we believe a Wainwright table is. And my other scheme was basically commit genocide on the bisons and force sell their meat to everybody, but that's a really bad scheme, because that'll actually hurt me in the long run, even though it doesn't hurt anybody originally. And so this area might seem a little nasty for them to do, but it could be done. You just need to place down something there and then put a road, etc. And what I might end up having to do is making a road myself. And that's going to be very upsetting, because I guess nobody really needs mortared stone, but they do in reality to build a house. And yet nobody's out there trying to get my mortar stone. You see, like, look at this guy. House, it's hewn logs. He actually built that, and I don't know how long it's been there, but it's still tier 1, and those hewn logs probably weren't cheap, and I don't think he specializes in it, because he's a cook. So our Wainwright table might be over here. Let's see. Oh, well, somebody made that private. It's iron. So we passed up the area where we actually were gonna put the road to. Yeah, we did. Put a road post over here. Here it is. Alright, so this road post is exactly lined up with my my base or whatnot back there. And the thing is, if the guy decides they want to specialize in building roads, and they don't want to build anything else, they just want to build roads or whatever, this is an easy, this is an easy 201 mortared stone. They don't have to have hewn logs or anything like that. And they could do that from the get-go. They don't need any stations to craft anything. They just need to repair. And repair stations don't require a house. And they don't need any special stations for this dirt road here. So you see, there's no reason why they shouldn't have why nobody's gonna accept my contract, but that's what it looks like. And so I also made a kiln, because of course I'm gonna be doing metal stuff soon, and I'm gonna start selling metals, and People are always going to need metals for the rest of the game. I just thought mortar stone would be a great start, and nobody's gonna do roads, so let's see if we got our Wainwright table somewhere around here. Oh man. Nope. Well, I think there's a way to find a Wainwright table if somebody has one. Naval Mill Research Lab. Campfires, fishery. So if you don't want to make the table yourself or whatever, sometimes people have a public table and they let you use it, but I don't let people use my stuff because they'll start something I didn't want them to start, and they'll have to wait until it's... I think you can cancel it if you own it. But anyhow, I'll AFK for a second, I'll be right back. Also, I made a kiln. And when I come back, I guess I'll go and take care of that. God. Okay, I'm back, and I apologize if I prolonged a very long session to be even longer than it was. And we're gonna go get that kill, and then we're gonna start planning with our little 9 skill points we have. We can unlock 1 skill, and then the next requirement for the next skill we'll have to wait until we have 10 points. And we have to get melting. But if unfortunately we can't get boards somehow, we're gonna have to get boards. And nobody's gonna help us. But everybody wants to have everybody do stuff for them, so... always in the chests that I don't look in. Okay, so just for this occasion, legitimately this occasion, I made this room that with these, you see, like, let me show you. See, the kiln requires 45 meters of space. And so, if we didn't make the room as big as we did, we wouldn't have enough space for it to work. It also needs fuel. And guess what we have next to our river? And coal. Alright, so Blue Marine isn't going to cost too much, but we're going to need some boards. And I don't think anybody's selling any. And this is where things get a little choppy. So we're going to search for boards. Chuck William has all the boards that we need, and he's the only one with the sword. Whatever it's called on the server. Actually, I don't think he has all the boards we need. But he's the only one with boards, so we're gonna have to decide here. He wants logs. We'll have to chop 2 entire trees down to give him a log. And the logs he wants for the boards anyway. Pots. One is stone. So the only person who wants stone is this Krillian guy, but he's ripping people off by turning it into the type of stone that I have here, the mortared stone, and I am selling mine cheaper than his. Yep, Chuck Williams doesn't have the boards we need. So now we need to decide if we should get rid of a skill temporarily. One that we're using that we're not using, if you get what I'm saying. So unfortunately, if I get rid of campfire, what's going to happen is this is a really good skill, and we're going to lose all our ability to cook. So we're going to have to see if it cooks on the server yet or not. And by saying we're going to see if it cooks on the server yet or not, we're going to see if anyone's actually selling anything for a fair price. So this SGT guy here has this, but it's sold for a lot. And funny enough, If you use this, you're not even going to get as much nutrition as just straight up eating this charred meat here. Because the charred meat's in a whole other. It's the best of, I guess, charred stuff. I don't know. Wild stew is good, but it's not available. And this one might be tricky. We could also turn our shop into a but I don't want to do this actually because then we're not going to progress. Oh, this person actually lowered their price because nobody's buying it, but now there's less available, and yeah. Let's see what Tekla wants. So Tekla wants stuff to make food and pulp. Wooden pulp, they want a whole bunch. We used ours a while ago. Ramps, which is stupid because if you have a Wainwright table, you can easily make those. And that's a pretty good deal on dirt ramps. They want a lot of stone, and that's easy to get. But the thing is, it's like, they don't really want something that I guess I'm willing to give to them at this moment. Now, here's a horrible deal. This person's buying sand for the price of 1, but he's buying stone for the price of 3. That's a really stupid deal. And then he's buying logs for the same price of stone. Whereas stone is more abundant early on in the game, and it's gonna stay abundant until the game is finished. The logs can go extinct, like there's no trees. There's no trees near me. The same? At the stuff people got. Here's a guy we bought this contract board outside my house with. Now this person's got bricklaying, and they want 200 for it. And then they got cement, they want 300 for it. Then they got glass working over here, and they want 200 for it. This person has mortared stone, they want 10. Of course, there's no way they're gonna get cheaper than myself. And what we really want is food. It's really what we want. But it looks like campfire beans are... Well, actually, that's interesting. So this person has a lot of campfire beans, and campfire beans are pretty good. So if we have enough for whatever this guy wants, Namita... Oh, that's the guy who was ripping everyone off not too long ago either. We might be buying a bunch of campfire beans. Namita's also doing bricklaying. They're selling 2 scrolls. One they're selling for 150, the other one they're selling for 300. But they have 14 of each. Now we see what Namita wants. Namita wants ironing hits. They want They want chairs. They want flour. They want their own campfire beans. And they're willing to buy it for the same price. They want unlimited charred corn. And they want unlimited pitch, which we can do that for them. But they don't want it for any cost. So that goes that. They want a Wainwright table, but they don't want it for any cost. So the stuff that we can certainly give them, they don't want for a price. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do for these people here. We're gonna have to continue eating on our own, I guess. And that means that we can't deal with them. We're gonna have to. We have no choice now because of the way the market is at the moment. Because somebody didn't want to build roads or whatever it was. That we're gonna have to, or that nobody wanted any mortar stone. We're gonna have to put up I guess, carpentry skills so we can make some boards. So it looks like we might have a chance to be able to make boards without getting carpentry, and if we can, we'll do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop a tree down. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put my masonry tables away. And people might also not be buying more stone, I guess, because I'm not buying what they want to sell. And so I might put some more stone for sale for charred meat. I know somebody can get 1,000 charred meat fairly easily. The thing is, for every 1,000 charred meat that they can get fairly easily, I can get probably 10,000 mortared stone up from that 1,000 charred meat. So it's worth doing that if that's how they want to do it. But at the same time, I have to ask if how much I actually want to get charred meat for, because I don't think I should charge the cost of endangered species to be so low. Wait a second. There was no trees all the way over there, was there? Nope. We're gonna go visit our little friend over here and say hello. Floating in the air. Oh, they're running off. And so there's a bunch of trees over here. This one's a baby tree, and this one's a big one. Nobody has any good stores yet. I think the biggest thing that makes people not have stores available is when there's no mint. It's gotta be nice. These boards are going to cost us, but I'm guessing quite a bit. We're going to probably end up chopping another 4 trees down. Shoot. And it's moments like this where roads could really come in handy, even if I have to walk a little distance to put these inside of a wagon. It would have saved time. But if I end up getting any cooking skills as a result of poor cooks, I'm going to end up committing genocide on these bisons. And then I'm going to sell their meat for a pretty fair price. It's absolutely ridiculous how much how cheap, I guess, if you will, or how easy it is. If you just go and get iron and smelt it, everyone's gonna need that at the end of the game. Every single recipe involves iron in abundance. And the more iron you push, funny enough, people end up pushing more gold than they do iron, though, because they get selfish and try to mint those coins. When I look at this game, I sometimes think about how I was thinking it was gonna be like Terraria or something in Minecraft, and it ended up not being. It'd be great if the developer of the game added a way to put like a big backpack on the back of bisons and ride the bison around, and made the powered wagon actually useful in terms of driving it around. I mean, it's useful, but I mean, you can't really drive it around very well, and if it crashes and tips over, you have to manually move everything and then undo the wagon, and it's just really annoying. And they're gonna add boats, apparently. And that's gonna be interesting. When they add boats, people will actually probably use fishing more, because nobody fishes in this game, because it's a very annoying mechanic. What's this? Looks like somebody messed around here, but they didn't actually build anything, it looks like. Nope, they didn't build anything, they just messed around. And I guess they did this because they're trying to hide the fact that there's iron or something behind here. Take their stuff. It's on their property anyway, I don't know why they did that. Oh man, wrong area. So this is recent. This person didn't have their property here before, but today they put it there right after I made the contract for the road. So we have pleasant neighbors, it seems. I'm gonna have to remove the construction post and redo my contract again. It's people like this we can't have nice things for. Alright, let's redefine this road. So what I'm thinking now is that we're gonna have to go across the ocean. But if we do that, we're gonna have to make somebody rich. And that's just ridiculous. So, if somebody auto accepts this contract, they're gonna still be able to go from point A to point B because there's two construction markers, but they're not gonna have any construction markers to see where they're going. So it's gonna be a difficult contract, but we need these for later when we redefine our road. So that's kind of lame. And we had something over here, didn't we? Yeah, we're gonna build a carpentry table, but there's not enough stone now. Now, if it was as easy as just getting the stone and then selling it, that would be great, but people want free stone. They don't want to have to pay for the stone. The only problem is stone's not free, even if you can get it in as abundant and quick as I could. Because in that case, it'd be In real life, if things were like that, everything would be free. I'm not a machine. I don't have automated bots or anything. I can't do anything like that myself. Alright. Now we're gonna have to get rid of one of our sand tables. I don't think anybody's actually going to accept a contract to build a road across the ocean for me. Especially being that I'm still have to have a road built going that way to at least reach civilization. But that kind of road would be great infrastructure. The only thing is that, yeah, there's a big body of water and nobody has dirt or anything. And one thing I could do to make it easier, to make life easier, is I can get this mortared stone here, and I can artificially make an elevated kind of thing. But I'm gonna have to be the road builder myself to do that, to make it kind of a highway for goods, if you will. And yeah, somebody's gonna be annoyed with that, and they'll purposely claim my road. That's just what they do. And once they do that, then I'm gonna have to figure something out. I'm gonna lose that road, basically. Like, if I build a road from here to here, this guy's probably gonna expand this way coincidentally, or this guy's gonna expand this way coincidentally, and they're gonna happen to just bump into my road, and then they're gonna block it off or something. Okay, so our boards, we can make basically 50% of the wood we put in, we're gonna get out. And that's kind of cool. For the Wainwright table, though, however, and asphalt and stuff like that, we're gonna need our own construction to build that kind of stuff. And this is interesting because to make actual stone roads, I'm gonna need quite a bit of stone and pitch. And I think that's just about as much stone as it took me to make these mortared stone here. So that's kind of lame. Now, if I ended up making a shop for stone roads and doing stone roads myself, there's gonna have to be some kind of catch to it, because I can't make people roads for free. That's a lot of work. But at the same time, how am I supposed to market all this stuff? And nobody's gonna buy this mortared stone. It's like pointless now. Not really. It's actually really good. You can make a castle. It looks nice and all that other stuff. But like I said, nobody's gonna actually do it because they're gonna use tier 2 materials, and that's gonna actually cost a lot more when it comes out. I don't know how the food guy is gonna do it, and then they're all close together, so they're bundled in a group. There's 2 groups in this world map here, and they both aren't connected entirely, but they still have a way to get to each other. So it looks like I'm gonna have to chop a tree again. But before I do that, I'm gonna have to get some food. And now we go to chop another tree. Whee! This is iron. And these people aren't really getting ready too much for iron. They're actually getting all their gold ready because they want to get minted coins. The only thing is that in the end, everything boils down to commodities. It doesn't boil down to money. So getting money is just so wasteful in terms of the game. Yeah, you get all the money you want, then nobody buys and sells anything anymore. Now what are you gonna do? And that also can happen in real life with real life money as well, and it can happen all of a sudden. And then once it does, everybody's got some problems. If there wasn't federal laws, it would have already happened a long time ago. Here, Netama. They claimed all the way over here. They claimed the land mostly so that they can have all the tree resources, I guess. These are small trees. I really don't want to chop these down. Actually, they're probably not small trees, but they're they look like it. And we just fell. Oh, we're gonna have to start chopping soon, so let's find a tree and chop. And there's somebody near us. They're watching us, I guess. Yeah, they care what we're doing. Yep, they care what we're doing. I'm gonna guess they're gonna troll us in a little bit. Yep, probably. Now they're looking kind of in our direction. Oh my goodness, chop the damn log. Alright, let's get this pulp out the way. Now, even if this person claims this land, it should be difficult for them to actually do anything except claim this pulp. But pulp is basically useless unless you're me, and you could turn it into pitch. Actually, I can't turn that into pitch, so it's even useless for me. But I can give it to somebody else to turn into pitch. And let's go ahead and claim this general area. Not really claim it, but I mean waypoint it. And now we know where to go for our wood. This individual is going to give us a hard time, I bet. Just because they saw us and they're near us whenever we're chopping wood. And it's supposed to be a game about working together. I think that the game developer should also fix how important certain materials might have been or might be to other people. Like, once people unlock certain tiers, all the other tiers' values just drop off. Like, it goes to 0, like the value completely drops and nobody needs any more. Even though nobody might be able to produce it except one person. The only thing is that nobody can get their hands on the higher tier because everybody isn't rich. And that's generally what's going to happen whenever steel starts coming into production. When people get steel blocks, they're going to have to choose between flat glass and steel, and they're going to choose not flat glass, flat steel and framed glass, and they're going to choose the framed glass because it's cheaper in material cost-wise. But it doesn't have any bonus to using it. Using steel doesn't have any bonus to it, like, so when you have a tier 4 building, the material should matter. What, like, what kind of station you can use should be dictated slightly by the materials, like, if you want to use machines and stuff, then yeah, you should use flat steel. But if you want to use computers and stuff, or I mean, industry should be flat steel. Computers and stuff should be glass. And the only reason people argue against the mechanic is because they themselves are invested. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on that guy's head. Let's see if they stole anything. No. Alright, so I just want to point something out here. This guy's making hewn logs, and he's chopping trees down because he wants hewn logs. But while he's doing that, I have a shop where he's guaranteed mortared stone if he invests into giving me stone for mortared stone. So the other material we might use our surplus that we're gonna get from the mortared stone being efficiently used is maybe logs. Okay, so that guy apparently he doesn't know how to look at the economic viewer. And that's why he's a little lost. So another little tip for the game developer. They should honestly consider making the user interface in terms of seeing the economy better, because this person couldn't see the economy easily. So, the benefit to helping this guy, even though I could have said, oh, you should build roads. You see, if I was a freaking moron and selfish, I would, not just selfish, but you gotta be a moron too. Is that, yeah, maybe he would fall for that if he wasn't a human and was like a complete, yeah, if he was dumb. Because nobody actually benefits very much from building roads. If you're gonna be the road builder, normally you also end up making mint. That just because the guy who builds roads doesn't normally get paid very much money. Nobody gives him anything unless there's taxes, and we don't have taxes yet. But if we make a mint, and they plan on making mint on the server, that's why they made somebody the king of the world. Then if the taxes are set just right, people can build roads, and because the money from the mint's taxes goes to the world leader, and the world leader decides how things are going to be done. Normally, the best way to do it is to build one big road across the world, but that's not what happens. And if I could choose to make roads, I would build a total of 3 massive roads. One that goes from north to south, but wraps around the whole planet. And then one that's 90 degrees from that goes north to south. And then one dead in the middle that just goes across like 3 big roads. And that would connect everybody. And it's really interesting how they make this look like a sphere, even though it's a square-shaped map. But they give that illusion. So, if you actually made a north to south road, it wouldn't look like a straight chain like this. But it would. It just, and if you actually looked at it, it would look kind of funny. Because this North Pole isn't really a North Pole. Anyway, we almost have enough wood. But I accidentally messed up. There we go. Now we should almost have enough wood for real. And the purpose for this is to make the bloomery. Then the bloomery leads to the anvil. And then the anvil leads to the which of course will end up getting smelting and a bit, and that anvil is going to lead to if we wanted to, we could make a mint, but nobody's going to sell the brick. Nobody's going to sell all the stuff we need to make a mint, and it's going to make people upset too, because they already plan to make a one-road mint. They don't want to if you waste too much gold, what are you going to do with the lasers at the end of the game? And it doesn't have to be difficult, and you don't have to be a dictator. You don't have to mess everything up for everybody just because you wanted people to play a certain way. It doesn't have to be that way. And in fact, it's better off if you don't do that. But oh, jeez, this person made sure they claimed these trees. And that person going down the river. No. Oh. So this is an interesting anomaly. Basically, some of the pulp is on somebody's property, and it just so happens that this is the tip of their property, so we can't obtain their pulp. And there's also a piece of log that we had that we can't obtain either, because it's stuck. There we go. Okay. And that's how people try to steal your stuff. But not really. That you also can't hunt bison in other people's property. Oh man, we were just trying to eat food, and we didn't want to try to place things on the floor. And I bet that's a lot of iron. Yep, that's all iron in this person. Let's see. See, the gold's close. The gold's within their reach. This is copper, so that's not too good. And this is iron. We're gonna drop a waypoint right here. And I'm gonna be right back once again. Alright. And I'll be right back. Yeah, sorry for the breaks. And I'm back. So you see, this guy is being a fucking selfish prick as well. Me by saying I need to give them 3 mortared stone for regular stone, which is ridiculous. I don't know why people are so ungrateful, but I can tell you that in the long run it doesn't really work out that well, especially when you're dying in bed thinking about how it used to be, and then you're like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. Why isn't the world better? Why is there no cure for my fucking cancer that I got? No, that's because you're a selfish bastard. And you fucked up society by making bad choices your whole fucking life. Chop. Chop. And so here's one log we just can't seem to get. Let's place that down so we can carry a full load of 20. And then after that we'll hopefully, like, literally, chopping trees is just not my favorite thing in the game. It's really not. Guys also still trying to hew logs with chopping trees. If the trees go, there's literally nothing of value that's lost in the end of the game because you don't really need lumber for anything. But it's still problematic. Because new players can't get a house very easily, they'll have to mine immediately. And then the world ends in a big quarry. Check up on our Bloomberg that we need. So we're gonna need 10 sand to make it as well, and we have enough stone, that's for sure. And the reason really you don't want to do this is because people, well, actually, I think making the ocean bigger is better. But as some people argue, it doesn't work well for everybody. One thing is, if you put sand in the ocean and try to fill up the ocean with sand, or try to fill it up with dirt, that kills a lot of fish, and that makes a lot of people upset who fish, but I don't know very many people who actually fish in this game, other than the chef. And normally they don't try very hard. So now this Bloomberg of ours is going to be being made. And that is that we're out of fuel. And that's a server crash. Anyway, I guess, yep, the server crash. I'm gonna be ending the episode here. You guys know what I was in the middle of. And I'll come back, I guess, and make another video to show you all the end result. Thank you for watching.